Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a reaction to a new God of War Ragnarok trailer that Sony released on all of their channels. They're calling it Myths of Midgard. I have to say I wasn't expecting to get a new trailer for God of War Ragnarok today, but it seems based off of what I can tell that this doesn't necessarily show new gameplay or anything like that for God of War Ragnarok, but it's trying to let people know what happened, right? The events leading up to Ragnarok. So I figured we could just kind of watch it together, and I'll give you my thoughts on it when we're done. So let's dive into it. Be sure to leave this video a like if you end up enjoying it, and hit that subscribe button if you're new.
It's quite the storm we're having. Seems Fimbulwinter's here to stay. It will pass, though. All things do. In the meantime, how about a story while we warm by the fire? Those filthy spies. That old man sees more now than he did when he had both eyes. Ah, one of my favorites. It's a story of adventure. A father and son working together to overcome insurmountable odds, setting in motion the greatest war the 9 realms have ever seen.
I like the
I'm getting
setup.
a bit ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. There once was a god from a far-off land who settled in Midgard, disguised as a man. He started a new life, had a wife and a boy. They were happy together. In peace, they found joy. His wife passed away. Kratos mourned with his son. But where one journey ended, a new had begun.
I really like this
Faced by
format
a
they're doing.
request, though it seemed rather bleak,
Pretty
spread
cool.
my ashes atop the 9 realms' tallest peak. As they readied themselves for the long road ahead, a stranger accosted them in their homestead. Baldur sought answers as Odin's hand. Kratos gave none to the Aesir firebrand. They made way for the mountains. Kratos taught the boy skills, keeping godhood a secret but training to kill. Gods were always in danger, this Kratos knew, but secrets, he'd learn, could harm the boy too. They found Mimir in a tree, punishment for his wrongs, so they lopped off his head, and they brought him along. Mimir held ancient wisdom and knew the lost god of war. He warned, tell the boy, but Kratos ignored.
No, now hold on a minute. Is that all that's in there about me?
Something to add?
Actually, yes, I do. You see, Odin, in all of his dreadfully paranoid wisdom, trapped me in that bloody tree for perceived wrongs. And I led quite the colourful life before even meeting him. It all started when I was just a lad in the service of a great fairy king.
Riveting stuff, really.
Oh,
We'll have to
wow.
get back to that later.
No, don't turn the page.
I love that.
wasn't finished.
If Mimir were telling the story, we'd be here all day. Anyways,
That's awesome.
they met Freya, masquerading as a witch in the woods. A god knows a god. She would aid where she could. She cautioned, you must tell your son he's divine. But Kratos dismissed her. He'd regret this in time. On the road, Baldur's allies, Thor's sons, attacked. Something snapped in Atreus as he tried to fight back. The Aesir lost the battle, but Atreus fell too. Kratos rushed him to Freya. She would know what to do.
This was such an
Freya
awesome
was
moment.
disheartened with the father's neglect, but with the heart of Hell's troll, she could save his son yet. Kratos thundered through Helheim and slew the great troll. He had captured its heart, but in his, burned a hole. He returned with his offering. Freya cast a keen spell, and Atreus was healed, though not all was well. Kratos sat with his son, and for once he was true, revealing he was a god, and Atreus was too. Delighted at first, it seemed all would go smoothly. Then arrogance followed and bent Atreus toward cruelty. With tensions flared, Baldur preyed on their discord, casting back into Helheim Kratos and his ward. In Helheim, they learned Freya caused Baldur's plight. His mother's ill-conceived curse robbed his life of all light. They emerged from the realm as they neared Journey's End, but Baldur appeared and attacked once again. Atreus and Kratos were ready this time, stronger together with their power combined. Freya intervened on behalf of her son, begging Baldur's forgiveness for all that she'd done. Baldur strangled his mother. Kratos lunged with a snap. Baldur slumped. Freya wailed. And he died in her lap. Something changed in the world. Snow started to fall. The dawn of Fimbulwinter. The dusk of it all. Atreus asked, "Is this what it means to be gods? Killing our parents forever at odds?" "No!" Kratos bellowed as he dropped to one knee. "We will be the gods that we choose to be." Finally, together, they reached the Great Peak, finding Jotunheim's temple, the giants' retreat. A prophetic mural showed the life they had led. The boy's mother was giant, they learned as they read. Atreus walked to the cliffside. Kratos eyed the walls slowly. Beneath the boy's picture, a name was etched. Loki. They scattered her ashes and watched as they lifted. Over rolling red hills, the wind danced, and it drifted. Standing side by side, feeling hopeful and new, the boy was at peace. And the father was too. With their promise fulfilled, they returned to their home. They trained day after day, lest they'd reap what they'd sown. Atreus grew restless. Wary, Kratos remained. Ragnarok loomed as the great winter waned.
Don't tell me you're thinking of stopping here. Things were just getting good.
Well, I suppose we could go on a bit longer.
Oh.
An excellent idea. This is the most dramatic part.
Are they going to give anything away?
On second thought, perhaps we'd better cut it short.
Oh,
It seems that we're out of time.
guess not.
If you want to know how this story ends, I'm afraid you'll have to find out for yourself. Until then.
Okay. Wow. All right. So that was the God of War Ragnarok Myths of Midgard trailer. And it's funny because I feel like just yesterday I was talking a lot about God of War Ragnarok and how it seems like Sony's being very quiet with it and they're keeping it very close to the chest. They haven't revealed all too much. We haven't seen any more gameplay. We haven't seen any more trailers regarding the story or anything like that. Pretty much since the trailer we got last year at the PlayStation Showcase. So it is cool that they're, starting to ramp up. But I do wonder, what else they're going to do beyond this, because this, I think, serves as a great recap. That's obviously what they were going for here. They want everybody who's interested in this game, who's thinking about playing it, to have a good understanding of, the events of the last game. It's pretty important, obviously. So I do wonder, how many people maybe haven't played God of War 2018. Maybe they're looking forward to God of War Ragnarok. They would watch something like this, and I'm sure they would find it incredibly useful. I mean, I would definitely recommend playing the game. I'm sure Sony would want you to play the game as well. But there are inevitably going to be at least a few people who are planning to play Ragnarok that haven't played the previous game. And so it's, to me, what this says is this is Santa Monica's way of making it clear that you're really going to want to know some of the events that occurred previously. You're going to need to know them in order to maybe understand what's going on or some of the things that are going to happen in Ragnarok. The reason why I knew this was kind of a story recap was because I saw that Sony released a new blog post on the official PlayStation blog, and that's pretty much what they were trying to convey, is that we're going to recap the story and go over the most important events that you need to know before playing Ragnarok. So, yeah, the last thing I'll say before ending this video is it's becoming pretty clear that Santa Monica is trying very hard to not reveal anything about this game. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think what it indicates is that there's so little they can show that wouldn't be considered a spoiler. And it's starting to seem like everything that they could have shown that wouldn't be like a major spoiler or that wouldn't give too much away, they already did with the trailer they released last year. There were gameplay clips, there were a few story beats, but really nothing that gives you any sense of what's going to happen exactly in this new game. And so at this point, I'm just wondering, is this it? Is Sony going to just kind of, I don't want to say not market the game, because clearly they're going to have to market, but they're just going to find ways to market it without really showing much else of it. That would be very interesting to me. And I do think it would be very telling that, yeah, they've shown us everything they could without giving anything away. But nonetheless, this was a very cool format. It was cool to see the live action, the storytelling, reading a book. It was very well done, very well produced. And again, not something I was expecting to wake up to today. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the God of War Ragnarok Myths of Midgard trailer, and let me know what you think about the way that Sony and Santa Monica Studio are handling the marketing of this game and the way they're talking about it. I'll definitely be interested to see what you guys have to say. Be sure to leave the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.